Book Club meeting, and it's myself and Rebecca and Janie. Janie, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Oh, good, there you are.
You
I
can hear
wasn't
me
sure.
now?
Yeah, now I can hear. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yay. Yeah, because we had seen you come into the room before, and then you got popped right back out, so we weren't sure if you were having issues or.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, but it happens. I'm glad you made it
Yep.
back in though.
Thanks.
Because we were just starting to go off. I tell you, I could talk about anything and everything. Because there's just so much of stuff coming around. But anyway, which is all synchronicity, which is just the way that spirit works. It's like I don't even like look for the message anymore. I don't look for the answer anymore. I don't look. I get up and I live. I go and I have to live my life. I have to know that I'm on what is referred to as synchronicity and the synchronicity guidance system. And that's what I've been seeing most of my life. And it's like when important things, big things. Not all things, I mean, my God, I still get surprises. Not, you know what I mean? Not everything is just laid out in front of me. Because at the same time, I want to live. You know what I mean? I don't want to know how everything's gonna. I'm not the kind of person that goes and reads the ending of a book.
Me neither.
I'm
Me
right.
either.
I start at the beginning.
Me too. I don't want to spoil it for me.
No, I want to experience it. I want to live it. I don't.
Hmm.
I already know what I'm here to do, and that's what I get up to do. And so I just get up and do it. And then
Hmm.
whatever happens, comes about, comes about. And that's how the Celestine prophecy actually came to me in the same way, because I had started a cleaning business, and after I started this business, I of course I'd already been experiencing life. I'd already been, seeing spirit at the same time. I'd already, came to some kind of, place in my mind where I was, okay with the way things were going. But at the same time, you just want, to build. And, we were, my husband at the time and I were both trying to build a business. And, he had his own business. I had my own business, but they were both in my name. And with that came a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh my God, yeah. It's two businesses. Let's go for it, yeah. And so, just trying to work all that stuff out and just live life and take care of the kids and, but always, always, knowing that the, way things worked out for me is, just like when with starting the business, it's like we started a business out of a garage, and then we just kind of grew out of the garage, and it's like we needed a bigger place, and then I started dreaming about this place that I'm going to go and one day own. It was a huge house, and with a huge garage in the back that was separate from the house that could, was basically its own, little mini warehouse. That would be perfect, for my husband's part of the job, or because he had a aftermarket business selling sandpaper and Bondo and just all that fun stuff for car repair,
Hmm.
body work, and so anyway, dreamt about you know finding the house that we needed and everything. Before I found the house, had several dreams about the house, and then it was like as soon as I got the house. I just had this calling to, I need to go and find out more about, these dreams and why I'm having, all this prophetic stuff, happening in my world. And so, because, again, I didn't have nobody to talk to. And this was like, the mid 90s at this point. I'm in my 30s. And, I just, had to find out what was happening, what was going on, really wanted to find out who I was. And so I went to this palm reader who just blew me away and told me all kinds of fascinating stuff, but told me that I would be finding and being introduced to this man who was going to really help me out and, just set me on a path, right, on that spiritual path. And so I found the guy. It's not long after I got the palm reading. In fact, he was just down the street on the other side of the freeway from the palm reader, who didn't, probably even know him. But he was just right down the street in a place called Astrology, etc. And so anyway, I of course make an appointment to go and see him. And so anyway, so of course I'm there. I go see him, and then of course he needs a housekeeping. So he's like, "Can you come clean my house?" And so I'm like, "Well, sure." Oh God, I loved it because we were able to barter back and forth and stuff with services and cleaning, right? But anyway, so I go to clean his house, and I move his furniture. I'm a detailed cleaner. I have to move the couches and stuff. I can't just vacuum around the stuff. I got to know what's behind it and it. And so I move his furniture. I moved his couch, and underneath his couch was this sketching pad, and on this sketching pad was this frickin' the whole resort type center that I have seen for years that I need to build is what I keep getting. I need to build this. And it's exactly the same right there. And then there happened to also be, a book called the Celestine Prophecy sitting there beside it. And so I was like, I picked up the book, after seeing the sketching, after getting the palm reading, after meeting him the way I did. Now I'm in his house. I'm moving in his furniture. I find the pad with my center on it, and I mean exactly the circular center. It was no square buildings on this property. It was all circular, Earthship style. And the book was laying right there, and so I started reading the book. I'm like, I probably got a good chapters into it before I really. I'm here to clean. I need to. But it was just like, here I am, dreams. Then the palm reading, and then she's telling me that I'm gonna, get this who I refer to now as my guru. He has since passed away. I think it was 2006 he passed away. But yeah, I mean, it was just like, all this stuff happening, and of course, I'm in my 30s. I'd already gone through, my near-death experience. I'd already gone through, having dreams that were prophetic and, knowing things and, but there was no television show on TV explaining it. There was no internet,
Exactly.
Right. It all had to play out in synchronicity. And that's what I believe when we connect to our chakra system, our energy system, that we activate that guidance system. And then it starts interacting with the energy around us, and then that's what brings about synchronicity. Some people want to call it coincidence, but I don't believe in coincidence. No, there's no such thing. It's all synchronicity. Everyone wants to say everything happens for a reason. Well, things happen because of your choices. And then when these synchronicities come before you, you can either pick up the book and start reading it, or just move it aside and vacuum. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so that's how I got, and then of course I had to call him immediately. There was no cell phones. I didn't have no cell phone. I was at his house. I'm calling him at his place of business at his place called Astrology, etc. Letting him know that I found this amazing sketch, book with my resort on it, and that I was going to take the book that was on, right there beside it home with me, and I'll bring it back, but I need to take this book with me, because, and then I swear I would read it and I'd have to get up and go live my life. I love to read, but I'm not someone who can, sit down and just read a book from begin to end. I have a life, I had kids, a husband, a job. I had two businesses to run. So I was, definitely busy. But I would read that book for as long as I could. It was not even every day. It was like, however it happened. But I would read the book and then put it down. And then go out and live my life, and then whatever I had read, whatever synchronicity they talked about, it was like would happen. The book just literally came alive, and I was just amazed by it. And then it was just like, boy, I started having words, to be able to correlate now to what I was already experiencing. And so I was just, I probably have purchased the book at least 12 times. And in fact, I've been given the book once, and I actually since loaned that book out. Because it's just that book you want to give it to whoever you can.
Yes.
Yeah, because it's just definitely it just wakes you up.
Like a handbook for the universe.
Yeah. So how did you find it? Who wants to go first?
Uh, I really don't remember, but exactly, because around that time, a lot of things were happening to me, and I had left the church. I'm trying to talk low because my dad's in there,
Oh, bless his heart.
and but I was searching, and it's like I told Rebecca one time. I told God, I said, I just want to know the damn truth. I just want to know the truth. I don't care what it is. Just tell me. I'm sick of all this confusion and lies and all this stuff.
Mm.
And so things started happening, and I was in a horrible marriage, horrible. And I was going to this other church. I was like, God was moving me to different churches, but not to stay. I didn't know that at the time. It
Right.
was to look around.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, I was there, and I thought, all right. And then I started feeling hugely restless.
Oh no.
Oh no. I hate it when that happens. It's like those State Farm commercials. They're sitting around the table telling the story about the snakes, and then poof, they're gone, and then they come back and their hair's all messed up because they had an adventure. Maybe she's just going on a little adventure, and she'll be right back with us. uh, I know. Be like, bloop, gone. No, come back.
I wonder if she knows she's gone.
Oh, she may not. It may take her a second to realize she's not looking at the screen. Bless her heart. She's going, oh no. Her dad's probably going, what?
Yeah, it's showing her completely offline.
Aw.
She'll be back.
Yep. She'll be back. She'll figure it out and come back. All right. So, well, then tell your story. How did you find it? Or how did it find you?
Actually, I'm not really sure either. I know I was on a spiritual search. I wasn't completely happy with everything that the church was telling me, and I had tried out a couple different churches also.
Mm-hmm.
But the first time I read it, I got caught up in the story, and honestly, I don't think I was ready for it.
Oh, really?
And so
Interesting.
the synchronicity part I got.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like, and I've seen the movie,
Mm-hmm.
but it seems like this time when I read it, it was just like, how did I miss this? I don't understand how I could have read this book and not got it.
Oh, well, I don't know how far I got. I talked and talked and talked.
I know that's what Rebecca says. She goes, I wonder if she knows she's gone. Oh, no, you were getting to the good part, though, about
Which
how
part?
you were, well, it just where Rebecca just left, where she was got churches and they were.
Oh, that's not even the best part. See,
Okay.
then I was in this horrible marriage, and one night when I was at home by myself, and I laid down on the bed. I didn't tell you this part, right?
Mm-mm.
Nope.
Okay. And I was just laying there, and I felt like there was a spirit at my bedside. Now, I wasn't thinking it was like a spirit come to visit me or anything like that. It was like a higher spirit. I just knew it felt divine. Well, and I thought, nah, and just laid there. Then I felt like somebody threw a bucket of water on me, but it went from the top of my head all the way down to my feet and back around like it was making a circle. Can you still hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, you're still here.
Okay. It reminded me what I later, many years later, heard people talk about Kundalini. Only mine went from the top of my head down and kept
Right.
going in circles. And every time it went through a section of my body, which now I relate to as chakras, then I had no idea.
Right.
That part would liven up, even down to my sacral, down to my, what do you call it, orange chakra. And the sacral chakra, I started feeling the sex feelings. I mean, it lasted like a few seconds as it went through.
Mm-hmm.
It was shocking.
Mm-hmm.
Not, it was, it didn't scare me because it felt so good. I
Right.
mean, but I just couldn't. I had nobody to talk to. I had nobody. I didn't know anything about what just went on with me.
Right. I
But,
know that feeling.
but after that, things got even exploded more. I had synchronicities like up the butt. I mean, visions, um, seeing auras, not the kind where you see in your head, but I mean full blown.
Mm-hmm.
But but that's my story. And somehow I saw the book somewhere advertised, and I just knew to buy it.
Right.
And it was just right when it first came out, and so I bought it, and I gave it away somewhere just for somebody to read it, but of course I never got it back, and I had to buy
Of
me
course
another
not.
one.
Exactly.
But it's one of those books that you don't want to take out of your library. You go to cull your books, and you cannot cull that one.
You cannot. I know.
Cannot
It's
do
like,
it.
he's written some more since then
Oh,
also,
I
but it's
read
like,
all of my things.
yes, yeah, exactly. I haven't read the most recent one that he did. I think
What
it
was
was
that? I may have
2000.
missed that because I
I know,
hadn't.
right? Because it's about the 12th. Live in the not the 12th. It's the, oh God, I can't remember the name of it. I saw it the other day on Amazon when I was looking through there.
Yeah, I think
I can't
the
remember.
12th was the last one I read. The 12th
Yeah,
website.
but it's like that first one though. Is just magic. They're all good. I've read
Yeah,
the whole thing, and he's got the
right.
workbook, that you can do along with it. But that first book is just so full of
Oh,
just the
the jewel.
energy and the
Oh, yeah.
magic.
Oh my
It,
God.
uh,
And
yeah,
and when I read it then, I still didn't know what was happening to me. You know,
right.
I still didn't put coincidences together. I thought, oh, how cute, how nice. That's
Hmm.
nice of you, God, to do that for me. I didn't put it like together. And then,
Right.
like 20 years later, I'm thinking, oh my God. And
Hmm.
then you look at the Celestine and think, oh my God, that's right. That happened to me. That's how I did
Right.
it. That's how I knew to do this. You know?
Right. Yeah, exactly. And you can see how, just the synchronicity plays out. And once you become aware, and it's like you align to that thought,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
whatever, what is it, activation? There's a
Yeah.
good activation in that book.
Right.
It really is. Because
I'm
it
telling
just
you.
sparks a whole new, whoa.
Right.
Because like you said, I saw energy before I read the book.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't know about it. And I saw more conflicting energy.
Yeah.
Meaning more the argument, more the combative stuff going on. And that's
Mm-hmm.
probably just the way, that's the way of the society. That
Right.
energy is what more motivates for whatever ungodly reason.
Right.
But yeah, and again, I didn't have anybody to talk to. I didn't know. I didn't know. I had no
Uh-huh.
idea. I just knew how I felt. I knew that what was coming to me, but I didn't know what to call it, and I didn't even call it energy. I didn't
Oh no,
know.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
I just said it's a spirit of some kind. I think it's higher,
Mhm.
but I didn't tell
Mhm.
anybody, because they would think I was. My husband would have used that as an excuse to get rid of me, probably, and take
Right.
the kids.
No
You know,
doubt.
had
Oh
little
God.
kids.
It's true though. My ex used my psychic abilities against me.
Yeah, I
Definitely.
don't doubt. Mine, this one, he definitely would have.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, he couldn't, well, to whatever extent he tried. I was just like, I know what you're doing. It's okay. I forgive you. But yeah, the synchronicity though, that's what really just makes people need to pay attention and have to pay attention and want
Right.
to, you know, want more. Give me more. Show me more. We always want more, don't we?
Exactly. And I always said, I think all you have to do for these people out here that are searching, but they're not really at that real search yet, the real search,
Hmm.
where you ask that question and you really, 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 really mean it. Like, I want to know. I don't care what it is.
Yeah.
You're just not gonna get that much. I mean, me answering that question it took a while after that, but things started happening,
Hmm.
and I started seeing things, not just spirit things. I saw them when I was a kid, and then I stopped seeing them. But it wasn't that. It was the synchronicity and all that stuff. But I still didn't recognize it until I got that book. But
Right.
that thing that I don't know what you call it, but the water that was poured on me, that still, I mean, that came straight from source because I don't know. I'm sure he didn't. She knew that I couldn't get it any other way. They
Right.
just throw it at
Well,
me. Yeah.
well, all right, but we could go off on a whole other subject on that one because there's all kinds of um, different people who have heard that same kind of experience with, and
Hmm.
they relate it to alien. Oh, God.
Oh, Lordy. Well, I've seen a spaceship too myself.
Well, there you go.
There you go. There it is. We didn't have any. They left me no memory of talking to him though. I don't know anything about that. Never saw him.
Oh no, yeah,
No, just a ship.
right. Yeah, that happens a lot. People see the ships, don't remember the contact, but they do that. They push that little button. You don't remember nothing. Wipe that memory. It's not there. But yeah, but I always come back to this because I always, like I said, I saw conflict. Since I was little, I've always thought that it was just, and the people on it were just backwards. There's just
Hmm.
it's just messed up. And it was, and I was still seeing good stuff too,
Hmm.
but I saw more conflict. And it's like, so I always come back to that question. Well, it's like, well, okay, well, if we have this ability, and we have, what we want to call the synchronicity key, uh, you know, then why is it and how is it that more people aren't seeing it on on a mass scale here?
Hmm.
And if we do see them, that, or rather, we do have that ability to see the synchronicities. Then how come we don't also see more, um, people suffering, I guess, from conflict? And where that
Hmm.
conflict's coming from. We see where the source synchronicity comes from. I think I see where it comes from. I
Hmm.
think it's a good source.
Hmm.
Is it a good source, or is it a source that just leads us to even more information because we're accepting of that information? Rebecca brought something up while we were just chatting before we started the broadcast, and about them gauging our energy, and when there's conflict and crisis and devastation, um, you know how high that goes, and where does that go? why are they measuring that? you know it's like, I don't know. I want to know more, and every time I think that they're telling me what I wanted to know, I find out that I didn't know what I thought I knew, and that there's more to that. And I'm like, it's like I never. And can we just get to the truth of the matter? And I just want to know it all. They say be careful.
Yes, that would be nice.
Yeah, wouldn't it? I mean, really, I think we can handle it because again, if we are programmed to fear things which are unknown to us, which, hello, if you don't, get out of your neighborhood and, out of your space, people typically stay wherever, around wherever they're working and living. And so they don't know, how another culture is operating. So they don't have that information. It's like, how do we only know what we know? And so how do we move beyond it? And if we only know what we know, why do they think that because we find something out that is disturbing, that we can't handle it, just because that first initial reaction might be confusion, because hello, you're finding a truth out, or you're, going through, like with the information about Mars, them saying, that there was water, and did that freak out enough people, where they saw the energy that go up, that where they don't think, well, that they could handle that there's actually colonies on Mars and millions of people living on Mars, and travel to Mars and interstellars is possible. It's like, why not take that next step and just go on and say it, you know?
When the reason I was thinking about that is because the broadcast was, it was the night before the broadcast, and I started getting anxious. And I wasn't anxious because of what they might tell me. I was anxious because if they revealed this stuff to somebody who is not anywhere awake on any spectrum, I mean, they're still asleep,
Mm-hmm.
how, and I think that's a large portion of our society. I might be wrong,
No,
but
you're
how
right.
are they going to handle it? I was more concerned about them than what they were going to tell me.
Right. Because it's like when that last, or rather when the first radio broadcast happened back in the 40s, and it was a show about, alien invasion.
Right.
The day the Earth stood still, I think was the name of it.
Um,
Was that the name of it?
I can't remember.
But I know that they said at that time they were researching and monitoring our energy at that point too, because they said that the way that people freaked out, caused them to think that they're not ready, but at the same time they're keeping them not ready. So
Right.
is it just a test to make sure that their technology is working? Keeping us and
I guess
programmed to fear whatever.
probably that, and they're building ships for their own families. They have luxury homes on Mars. They want to get there first.
Well, and if you talk to a lot of people,
They're already there, right?
they're already there.
Yeah,
They have
I know.
already left the
Yeah.
United States. As soon as they started talking about imposing more taxes on the wealthy, then a lot of people up and moved out of the United States. So where'd they go? They didn't go to another country where they still got to pay taxes, or they still got to, what? Where'd they
Mhm.
go?
Doesn't it take a long time to get to Mars?
No, according to Corey, the guy that I was telling you about that's talking with David Wilcock, they have technology where he's got this little blue orb that he calls his friend because he's known him most of his life. He comes and picks him up. But he's this little blue orb, and he's not more than an orb, okay?
Mhm.
This little tiny blue orb comes in through the wall, goes right through the wall. And it, flows around Corey just a few minutes or a few seconds, letting him know, yeah, I'm here to get you. And expands, and then becomes the size of Corey. Corey is, like 5'10".
Yeah.
And so it expands to where Corey just steps inside of it, and the little, it closes around him and carries him right out the door, or rather right through the wall. And then boom, like within seconds. It doesn't take no time at all to travel to the moon, no time at all to travel to Mars. They have portals that they use also. So if they're going into another galaxy, or they're going, to another dimension, there's portals within the Earth and within our atmosphere and our galaxy that can take them to another place instantly. I mean, I think Corey said the longest he traveled someplace was like 20 minutes, and that was because there was a stall at the location they were going to because it was a surprise inspection. And they didn't want, there was like, I think he said that this particular installation they were going to on Mars, that was underneath this program, that they thought the Earth had been destroyed and that they were the only people left um, of humanity, that the Earth was, destroyed and uninhabitable. And so they were told, that, not to say anything about where they were from or anything to these
Mhm.
people. They had to contain
Right.
this story because that it went along with whatever experiment they were doing with these people, because that's one big thing, is one big experiment. So time travel portals, they exist already, so it doesn't take nothing.
But we're not the only planet they're screwing with.
No. In fact, there is, like what they say, a coalition, a coalition of interplanetary systems that knowingly are performing experiments on people here on planet Earth and in other planets and systems. Yeah.
That's depressing.
Isn't it? I mean, because, well, again, synchronicity. Every time it happens. It's like, I was 2 years ago, I was in Arizona. A friend of mine, a client, had given me a trip for my 50th birthday. She actually paid for me to go to Cancun, Mexico, but because it was, such a short time from the time she bought the thing to my actual birthday, I didn't have time to get a passport. So I couldn't go to Mexico. So I ended up going to where I always go to recharge and connect with spirit, Arizona. Which that's a whole other trippy story in itself too, but I will not get into right now. But I ended up in Sedona, Arizona, in the middle of Bell Rock and the Courthouse Rock vortexes, standing in the middle. Spirit led me, and I had to stop and give. Oh my God, it was just crazy. The whole experience was crazy. But I had to stop and give tobacco offering, along the path, the whole way to wherever Spirit was taking me. And they let me know because my heart would just start racing when it was time for me to stop. And, I'm, not a twiggy girl, but, I'm not out of shape. I can walk and, go on hikes and stuff. And it was crazy the way I felt my chest was just going to come out. I mean, my heart was just going to come out of my chest. So anyway, I'm in Sedona. I'm walking it up to the vortex. And I get to the vortex, and Spirit has me do the whole ceremony while I'm there. And we were actually connecting to a portal in the earth where we released 50 ascended masters.
50?
50. 50 ascended masters that were stuck in a portal and couldn't. I mean, there's portals that exist on this planet that have been taken over, if you will, infiltrated by, again, some people with not the best intention, alien, whatever you want to call them. It's pretty cool and fascinating to think, though, that most of the other beings out there are actually humanoid. So they're not all the freaky looking stuff like they have in Star Wars. But anyway, there are portals that have been closed off by these other beings because those portals only would let good come through. Only good could come. There's portals in Sedona where only good can come through. It's like you cannot be negative. You could, if you're an unhappy person, go to that portal because only good energy comes through that portal. No negative energy can withstand that vibration. And so there's other portals on this planet that have been fully exposed, and then and infiltrated, and then others that have been closed off. And so this one had been closed off, and the good stuff wasn't allowed to come through. Couldn't get through. In fact, when they came out, the first thing they did was started clearing Sedona, because let me tell you, Sedona, Arizona has commercialized and become very low energy. Even though the portals, the vortexes that are there, of course, they only emit good. So around those portals, it's okay. But to look at Sedona now from 20 years ago, 10 years ago, because I've been going to Sedona all my life, it has become so commercialized and just so energy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So the first thing they did was started clearing up Sedona and going to the Masonic lodges that are now there and clearing it up. And since then, for the last 2 years, we've been working with them. So they're, finding other portals and trying to clear things up that way. So this stuff has been going on for so freaking long. It's like, I think that's why we have things like the Celestine prophecy, that energy that makes it through in movies and songs that's just uplifting and, moves people to, to want to, get out of the web of deceit and the matrix, if you will. Escape the matrix and go live in Zion. Just
they made Zion
more people.
no good in the Matrix.
Do what?
I said, at least as I remember it, they didn't make Zion look that great in the Matrix.
No, they didn't. It's under cavern and, just still dirty and industrialized to a point, Because we got to, according to the way things run and the industries and the way things are going, we have to pillage the earth and take the gases and the oils and And that is so not needed. So yeah, it makes everything look dirty.
Yeah.
Even in Batman, do you ever notice in Batman how Gotham is just nasty?
Yes.
It's like so reflective. But I think that's why a lot of stuff comes through. If you talk to artists or, not talk to them, but, read a lot of stuff about when they first, started writing songs and how the songs came to them were in dreams, or during a trip. Okay, I'll be honest. They were tripping too, getting some stuff going. In fact, that's the Queen and David Bowie. They did, what's the name of that song? People on the Street. Um, what's the name of that song? Well, the original title was People on the Streets, and then it was changed. Dang it! It's right there. But anyway, they talked about how they collaborated, but away from each other. But each one of them in their own right was just coked up when they came up with that stuff. Oh my God! And they even did it like away. He was in one part of the world, and Queen was in another, and collaborated that song
Wow.
because it came to them both. You know what I mean? It was like they had, and that was the only collaboration that they did because it was just so frustrating for both of them. They didn't get along. David, come on, how could you imagine?
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, yeah, that's how people work. Their energy works, and the more people that are awake and are coming awake to it, the more things will be coming out because they can't cover up when people's, just stop believing their crap, but you got to stop believing it. But you got to work against that programming. It's like, I think that's why we do what we do, right?
Right.
Wake up and talk to people and
I thought the book was interesting in the way it discussed how to approach people.
yeah,
Because
because
that's the big question I've been asking myself lately.
What chapter is that in? I can't remember.
That, I think, is the 9th insight.
Okay, I'll write that down. Because in rereading it, I hadn't got that far again yet.
And that's the big question I've been asking myself because I can see these things playing out, and I try to bring some awareness to it, but I'm completely shut down whenever I do it. Maybe I'm just not very tactful. I don't know.
Well, there is something to a good bedside manner. And I'm the same way. I can get so passionate about something, my body will start shaking, and I'm just like, I get so aggressive, I feel, in my tone, and, because I'm just so passionate about it that you got to listen to me because this is the way, you know what I mean? So it's like, so I try not to be the salesman, because I don't need to sell you how I live. I just need to show you. And if you're having an issue, I can let you know how I would deal with it.
Right.
But I can't tell you how to deal with it. This is what I did.
My daughter has just recently realized, and she's come out with it and thinks she has this big thing that the world should know that nobody else has known it before. I mean, really known it, that God is love. And I'm sitting back thinking, oh, yes, keep on going, because she goes to church,
Mm-hmm.
But she means that that's all he is. He's love, or the source is love, not what you're taught in church. I mean, they say that, but it's not the same thing. And I could feel that she was getting onto it,
Right.
So that made me feel good. But I can't tell her much because she, just like puts her hands up. Oh, I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear.
I can't tell you how much my kids roll their eyes at me, and I'm like, don't worry. I know one day you're gonna hear this from somebody else,
That's
and then
right.
you're gonna come back and say, Mama, guess what? And I'm gonna be like, yes, yay!
Yes,
I'm glad
yes.
you finally hear it.
Yes, exactly. And my daughter says, you want to get rid of
Uh-oh. Did we lose her again?
I don't know.
Stop talking. But that's crazy too. That way to look at that, because again, I raised, my kids, telling them all my stuff. It's not new to them, and they hated it when their friends came over, and if they were interested in anything, because here I go. But now it's awesome to watch them in their 30s and in their late 20s going, oh wow. I wonder, I loved it. A couple of years ago, my son was like, you know what, Mom, I'm ready. And I'm like, yes!
Mm-hmm.
And my daughter was like, I wonder if I start activating my stuff, if it'll come out, if it's still there. And I'm like, yes!
Yep. Yep.
But it's true, though. They don't listen to us because we're the parent,
Right.
but they're watching.
That's right.
So,
They
that's
are.
why when they go out into the world and they hear a little glimpse of what Mama was saying,
Yeah.
they'll be able to say, that's right. Oh, let me go tell
That's
Mom that
right.
I finally get that. Because I
Mm-hmm.
don't push it on me. I don't push none of my stuff on nobody.
Mm-mm.
I don't need to.
No.
If I got to convince you, who am I trying to
Mm-hmm.
convince?
That's right.
So I'm already convinced, and so I don't need to. I'd rather be the example for people and watch me go through this stuff and see how I handle it, because that's the only way that they're going to learn. Children learn, and everybody's a child. Children learn by example, not by what you say. They don't hear what you say. They tuned you out at, dang it, you. That's it. That's all they heard.
That's right. Yep.
And
I
so
know.
I didn't even like scream and yell at my kids and stuff, or discipline them the same way, that most
Mm-mm.
people would think. Because I would rather them look and have to think and have to, and soak it in, instead of, I was not the spanking mom, or, the you're grounded, or, whatever. My kids weren't, my God, I was blessed. First of all, let me just say that I was very blessed that with my children. So, but I'll let you be who you need to be. I can't tell you who to be. I don't want to. It's no fun like that. But
No,
anyway, oh my goodness, what time is it?
it's 10:07.
Okay, I still have some stuff to do tonight, so shall we wrap it up? Is there anything you want to read the ninth insight, maybe, if you want to, and since that seems to be the message. Read it, read it, read it. So,
Oh, is the
anything?
next book or
Do what?
the next book? Is that what you were saying? Read the ninth?
Um, no, I mean the ninth insight that talked about in the book,
Oh,
in the
okay.
Celestine prophecy. Yeah, read the book. Read the Celestine prophecy. Read it, read it, read it. And then if you're, and anyone who's listening, maybe later on YouTube, come join us on HSI Book Club on Facebook.
Yes.
So just be the first of many that we will read, discuss, enjoy, envelop, and hopefully develop from it.
Yep.
All right then, ladies, I'm going to go ahead and stop the broadcast.
Well,
Okay.
thank you very much.
We'll
Oh,
see
yeah.
y'all later.
All right, thank you.
Have a
And